tried to put this there as a cushion, but still hard.
No, it's the base.
Yeah.
That's what they would call it. The base of the bed. And because, you know, it lets out and do all this other little stuff. What? Damn lie. What up with you? Welcome in, welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I ain't got my glasses on. It's that Eddie. How you doing, man? Welcome in. Let me just start off with my regrets. I regret that I didn't work harder to be a nerd earlier in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be I was nerdy, but I couldn't be a nerd because of the environment, my surroundings, right? You know how you grow up and you grow up in a certain part of a city or area, and people, you know, you can't, that ain't an option for real. Being a nerd really ain't an option in certain communities. You just got to know that. Because it's like battle school, right? You know how you go to school, or you was raised up in a certain community, and everything was a training facility. You know what I'm saying? To walk home or to walk to school was a training facility. It was training you for in your life in the future. You know what I mean? Like, even when you went to the store, like, see, some kids don't know that you can go to the store and buy candy, and you can sell the candy throughout the school. And the little kids would be so amped up in school, just like anything else, and couldn't sit down or whatever, and be getting in trouble like a hell. You know? What's up? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. How y'all doing? Welcome in. Share this video if y'all want to or whatever, but I just want to talk about regrets. What kind of regrets do y'all have, man? My regret, I wanted to be more of a nerd. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in St. Louis City, so I'm talking about the real city, not the outskirts, nothing like that. I grew up in the city, and I'm talking about the whole base of my younger years was St. Louis, and it was all training. You walk home from school, you know that. you know those sound languages? Those sound, that means it was, you know, it was your turn that week or that day. You know what I'm saying? That's a nigga or what? I didn't see what that was saying. Hold up. Now I don't got my glasses on. I don't know what the hell that person's talking about. King, could you grab me my glasses? Please. How y'all doing? Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, man, it was times that you would get the chance to walk home, and you know you better have your stuff together. And sometimes people be having brothers and sisters and stuff, so it wasn't just, you know, your training with a one-on-one. Sometimes you got to fight the whole little family. You know what I'm saying? What do you have in your nose? I have something that I would like in my nose. I have an earring in my nose. I mean, piercings. That's what that is. I got piercings there. I got piercings here. You know, that's what people do. I even got a piercing here. That's what people do when you get old. You know what I'm saying? You know, it lets you go back to your ancestries. Just like if you knew anything about this picture right here and who these people was, you know what I'm saying, you would know the significant. You know what I'm saying? I even have a tattoo on my face. You know what I mean? So, yeah, how y'all doing? Welcome in. It's a long story. It's a long story. Not good is pagan. Oh, you know what? Christianity is homosexuality. So, I mean, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Pagan, Christianity, Catholics. Catholics, you know, what they do to kids, they got a lawsuit against them right now. You know what I'm saying? You know why the little boy got that split in his head, the little altar boy? Because the priest was rubbing his head talking about, this ain't no sin, son. Ooh, this is not a sin. Oh. So yeah, yeah, that's what that's all about. So it ain't no difference, you know, pagan, Christianity, Catholics, they all do the same thing. You know what I mean? So you can't talk about my peers and make me feel bad. Nah, I don't care about paganism because I know Jesus was crucified for homosexuality. So you know what I'm saying? That don't get with me. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying, man, my regrets. I want to be more of a nerd. See, that's how I can get people like that. See, people like that, that's how I get you. That's how I get you. I am a nerd. I'm trying to tell you, I wanted to be a nerd early in my life. That's my regret. I wanted to be a real nerd. I wanted to sit there Poindexter and do my little art drawing, all that stuff. But it happened later on in my life, so I appreciate it later on in my life that I became a nerd. God heard me. Yeah, I hope he do, because he ordained pedophilia on little children. He murdered babies. He killed the whole. I hope he can, because hey, I got something to tell him when I see him. You know what I mean? I sure got something to tell him. You didn't spell here correctly. God hear you. You see how people do you? See, I told you I wanted to be a nerd. My regret was being a nerd. And Jesus is not God, not by far. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe in none of that goofy stuff. What I know is me being successful in life and trying to, like I said, wanting to be a nerd so bad to, you know, I realized that was my whole purpose and goal, man. And now I can answer questions like this. I can literally answer questions like that when people try to attack me or something like that. You know, I give them a nerd answer. And most of the times people can't handle a nerd answer because you have to really go and find out to try to prove me wrong. And I'm so much of a nerd that you can't even prove me wrong about this. I literally can go inside your Bible and show you where this dude you call Jesus was in love with another man. And they crucified him for that. That's the reason why he didn't die for our sins. He died for getting caught laying in the woods with a couple of other dudes. And Judas kissed and showed him and told him 30 pieces of silver is standing. Y'all don't read the story? Y'all don't read the story? Because you don't know. It said, repent to Jesus who saved. Remember, like I said, Jesus died for homosexuality, man. So he was already in trouble. And when he died on the cross, why did he ask his father, why have you forsaken me? Why? Because he was laying with another man. That book was dedicated to a person who was very bad. Very bad. King James was a very bad person, and that book is dedicated just because of that reason, that he was that type of person. So that's why they added that to the Torah of the book, you know what I'm saying? Because the Torah is by itself, the Ten Commandments, Moses, and all that stuff, that was by itself. When they came in with this 1611 shit, you know what I'm saying? That's when they started bringing in the, you know what I'm saying? And Jesus was the, so, yeah, John 19:25 through 27. And Peter seen himself, John 21:20. God ordained pedophilia on little girls. Numbers 31:17 through 19. Like I said, I became a nerd. I wanted to be a nerd younger than this. I wanted to come out the womb be like talking, you know what I'm saying? Giving you real philosophy of Sigmund Freud. Let's not educate our kids with the theory of these white European Sigmund Freud thoughts of abusing children. Because that's what every fairy tale, every story, Disney story is a child being abused. If you ever seen the Disney movies, Snow White, she was abused, Rapunzel, Mulan, just keep on naming them. You know what I'm saying? All those people, all those little kids, even Tiny Tim, may I have some more place, sir? Well, I wish everybody a happy new year. All that stuff, yeah, this little kids were being abused. Andy, what's the little girl Orphan Andy? Raggedy Andy and Ann. You know, all those type of things. We as a kids, we didn't know that that's what was going on, but it put it in a psyche. And this is why the little girl right now is so messed up. The woman, the female, she's so messed up because of the ideology of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was a very sick person, and now our children are following that. We see these little girls want to be princesses, right? But what type of princess are they trying to be? Look how they dressing. Because you didn't set up Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. What kind of water was they trying to? What kind of water they was? My wrist. What kind of water they was trying to fetch? Jack came down, and Jill came rolling after. Huh? See, y'all don't catch it. That's why a person will sit up there and talk this old heavenly God creator stuff. Girl, you cannot, that don't mean nothing to me. That same God murdered babies. Ain't nothing in the world you could tell me you talking about a God that murdered babies? What? You think I'm supposed to love that? Come on. That ain't love. See, that's how you know people are abused. You got to know people abused when they talking about God is love. He created heaven. If he created the heavens, why doesn't we see the two great lights? If you so smart, he created the two great lights on the fourth day, because at first he said, let there be light, right? Didn't he say that? Let there be light. Where was the light at? Everything was illuminated, right? All of a sudden, right? So he built these heavens and earth and stuff like that, but he created two great lights. Show me that second great light, because I know one is only the sun, the only one begotten son, the only one begotten son, but you can't show me another light in that sky. So if God was creating the heavens and the heaven, why he didn't know that the damn moon didn't light up? Because they tell you that it's a dark side of the moon, because the moon don't rotate or nothing, right? So you talking about this as a light, which gets get a reflection from the sun, but it don't light up. So why your God who created the heavens in heaven can't know that? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You out here following stupidity because your grandmama was forced to go into Christianity or something because of her bad lifestyle. She used to work at a brothel or something. Grandpa used to be out in the streets rolling these dice on the ground or something, and he had to straighten his life up to make his grandkids look better. Some even didn't. He didn't even straighten up. All the way to, you know, he went into the dirt. He still was messed up. So don't come to me about what some creator, God, and all. That's what got our kids messed up right now. You willing to throw something to a fictitious story, your love, what you created, what come from your body, what a man had already germinated that was alive, that went and sat down into something so you can incubate it. You rather get that to a fake story than have it come through your own lineage of knowing how powerful you are. You willing to abuse somebody else with somebody else's ideology of a God. You know what I'm saying? And not tell them the truth. And now when they go out there and say, well, I give up, I throw my hands and get it, God. And you covered with the Lord. And 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning, they call you, ma'am, Miss so-and-so, so-and-so. Yeah, your baby's out here covered up. Yeah, he's covered. He's covered up in a sheet, wrapped in the blood. Yeah, you need to come identify him down at the corner. That's what you're going to have to do. Yeah, because you left it up to God instead of being a real responsible person, because you didn't want accountability and responsibility. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now you want somebody to come donate money and cry for you and wear it on the T-shirts. And no. Like I said, my regret, I wanted to be a nerd way earlier than this. I'm 50 years old, so I wanted to be a nerd way earlier than this, player. I seen it when I was in the womb. I knew where I was at. I knew I had to come here and do some things, man, so I'm here to do that. I would like to know what kind of regrets y'all have. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in. Somebody said they real. How can a faith, or if they real, go to the library and look up the Bible and come back and tell me, did you see it in the fiction or the nonfiction area? Since it's real, the government and everybody else in this country know that this is a fictitious story, right? Everybody know it. Everybody know it. But somehow we got my people can't get the inkling to go the tenacity to go to a library and look and see if the Bible is in fiction or nonfiction. Can you remember you did that one time? You called me and told me, you said, Dad, I went to the library and I see the Bible. You remember that? My son, he was young, and he did that. Went to the library. He said, Dad, yeah, the Bible is in the fiction section. So if they know, the government know, everybody else know, why don't my people know? Somebody would be over here talking about, they real. Okay, well, God, how can you flood the whole world with 22.5 feet of water? That's what I want to know. And you got a big old boat that's bigger than 4 football fields, and it's going to float in 22.5 feet of water. Please let me know how. Just tell me how. How? Everything must have been flat. Nobody could run up on the hill and dodge that flood. You already had people in the caves living. You know what I'm saying? Could you just slide over a little bit and went in them caves and lived? It was people that slow and dumb. 22.5 feet of water, you couldn't swim that. Then this the funny thing too, right? They were starving on that ark, right? And you mean to tell me God was so evil that he drowned the fish too? You mean to tell me you couldn't throw a line out there and get no fish? What's wrong with y'all, man? Come on, man, be for real. You up there on a whole yacht. You on a yacht and you can't fish. You can't fish for nothing. God killed the fish too. How many of y'all get an aquarium? Was it an aquarium on that boat? Did you get 2 sharks, 2 whales, 2 killer whales y'all put on there too? Make it make sense. Quit playing with me, man. I told you my regret was trying to be. What's your regret when you was coming up? I wanted to be more of a nerd earlier in my life. I didn't know how to be a nerd. I was doing it. I didn't know how to be a nerd. You know what I'm saying? I just always seen it on TV. But when I went outside and lived my real life, it was always gangster stuff. It was always exploring. You know, as a kid, you go explore stuff, vacant houses, you know what I'm saying? You go explore in other people's neighborhoods and at the zoo at night, you know what I'm saying? You know, do that. You heard about where these people be trying to abduct kids at, so you and 30 of your friends go out there and trap that person, you know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do back in the day, boy. Somebody trying to hurt kids or whatever, we go hunt for the people that hurt kids. Yeah, and we'll go to that spot and we'll, flag them down and we'll stop them from hurting kids. Right now, I don't know what's going on. These people out here are just making laws to hurt kids now. You got Gavin Newsom out here with SB 145 and talking, all type of stuff where kids can make medical decisions at 12 years old. Medical decision at 12 years old? What was you doing at 12? What kind of decision you could have made? And what the procedures that they trying to get these kids to make? Man, it ain't no turning around. Ain't no turning around. And then they telling the parents, if you say something about it, we gonna lock you up for it. Think about that. Man, my friend had the tightest shirt on. He had a shirt said Drake, right? The word like the rapper Drake. And it said, don't rap against Kendrick ever. Man, I gotta get one of those shirts. That shirt was smooth, boy. Cause that's But how y'all like this? Y'all ever seen a hat like this? Nope, because you want to know why? It's my hat. And if y'all would like one of these type of hats, even this background of this lovely picture, I have t-shirts like that. You know what I'm saying? This is my artwork. So I got a lot of artworks, and I'm an airbrush. I do tattoos. You know, I'm an actor. If you ever seen Criminal Minds and stuff like that, I do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, my regret was to be a nerd more earlier. I was trying to be when I got in high school. I started learning. I'm like, man, I got to be a nerd. And it was something like gang banging was trying to stop me from doing that. I wanted to be nerd so bad, but you have some of these suburban kids that grew up in suburban and watch Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society or something like that, and they try to portray that lifestyle. And fool, I really grew up as like Doughboy, but worser. You know what I'm saying? Like Kane and Doughboy mixed together. You know what I'm saying? I had to go live with somebody else because my mamas and daddies was, you know, doing all type of other stuff. Yeah, I was that type of kid. You know what I'm saying? I was like Doughboy, Trey, and who I say from Menace to Society? Kane. Yeah, Kane. So I was all that wrapped up in one. And I wanted to be a nerd. You know what I mean? I can make movies. I mimic people. I do a lot of stuff, man. But I lived in St. Louis City. You know what I mean? It was like, man, this is bad. I want to get out of here, you know. And by the age of 15, I got shot. A year later, I got shot twice. You know what I'm saying? So by that time, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I didn't really think that I was gonna be a nerd. But you know, going through that and realizing how fake people be, like a suburban child that got it really, really good and don't even know. And it was like destiny for me to fail. You know what I'm saying? Because where I came from and not knowing, you know, I was trying to escape that. And I fell in peer pressure victim of seeing other people trying to portray my lifestyle. And I had to realize they didn't have nothing they couldn't imagine to deal with the stuff that I was dealing with in my life. And put you in mind, at 15, I had a child too. You know, so I really had, you know, I had this pressure on me that I was supposed to fail. And you know what? I never failed, y'all. I never failed. Only time I feel myself falling is when I take that final rest. And even then, I will feel graduated because I made it happy. You know what I mean? This wasn't a bad trip. You know what I mean? It could have been over quick, you know, but it was a nice ride. It has been a nice ride. I'm 50 years old, man. Well, I'll be 50 July 25th, man. So, yeah, I'm half of a century. So, big ups for that, man, because a lot of people don't get. A lot of my friends did not make it, and I used to hear older people say that all the time. I really know what that feel like now. A lot of my friends are not here to this day to see this, you know what I'm saying, or with me. And the ones I do have, man, I cherish. The new ones I make, I cherish. So because everything is an experience. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I wish I would have been a nerd more earlier, because I'd have knew how to be a nerd. I was going towards the nerd, but it was just your outside environments, your surroundings and stuff. You know, you be in this training course of life. You didn't know that you need to know how to ride a bike when you was a kid. You didn't know that you need to know how to have a mental compass to move around in certain areas or certain type of communities. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know that you need to be aware of certain things that's moving, you know. So with that being said, a lot of times we be in our own little training and not knowing that this is exactly what we need. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. You know, we need some of that hard stuff. We need mama and daddy and being on us. You know what I'm saying? We need that. We need your uncle and them showing you how to fix a flat. You know what I'm saying? Get down there and make you do that hard sweating thing, going out there to the gardens and farming and stuff like that, bringing in the wood, chop the wood up, or somebody teach you how to, you know, put in a light bulb socket. You know what I'm saying? Not just a light bulb, but make the whole socket. You know what I mean? Because life can be very unpredictable, but if you have the right training, it can be just significant. The ones that's out here losing, man, is because they uneducated. And that's not because of some European institution, but I'm just saying with life. You know what I'm saying? With life. Some of these kids out here are so uneducated, they don't know how to change a flat. Some of these females out here can't even cook a pot of rice. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these people can't even put up a door, put in a toilet stool. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are real things that we know that these children can't even write in cursive. I can't. You know, and I'm so serious about that. You know, just imagine that, you know, a woman can't cook a pot of rice. You know, imagine a little boy can't even fix his own toilet. You know, this is a grown man. I call him a little boy because, like I said, I'm 50. So we talking about somebody 21 years old. Somebody 19 years old can't even change a flat on the car. You know what I'm saying? You literally have to have a tow truck to come do it. Some of these kids, you know, back in the day, you love fashion so much. Where's the people that's actually sew? You know how to use a sewing machine. But this supposed to be generations of what? When you as a generation cannot write in cursive writing, that means that you can't prove that you're a human. Let me say that again. When black people in slavery, right? They didn't know how to spell or write their name or whatever, so they used a X to identify them. So today, right? Today, when they ask you on this internet or whatever, they say, "Are you a robot?" You just hit a button. They got it to the point, oh, you want us to write the signature for you? Because you don't even know how to write in cursive writing. So if you can't write in cursive writing, that means you can't read in cursive writing. And if the Declaration, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, all that stuff is written in cursive and you can't read that, so how do you know what rights you're going to have? Because on the computer, they can put anything. But if it's written down, this is what it is, that's what it is. You comprende. You know, you comprehend. You see what I'm saying? So it's sad. Like I said, I wish I would have been more of a nerd early in my life, because these are the things. And even, you know what, even if I preached these things younger, because I did, because I was on my journey learning these things, some people listened, some people didn't. It's just crazy now. You could touch more people with the internet and they still won't listen. You have somebody combating on you, talking about the Lord Jesus going to write in cursive for you. The Lord can write in cursive. You just lost all your rights because you couldn't write your own name in cursive writing. You know what I'm saying? You putting fingerprints, thumbprints, you know what I mean? They finna put a chip in your neck or in your hand, and that's how you gonna get identified, because the kids are gonna be so uneducated, dumbed down to the point where they gonna have to get the chip read. They don't even know how to write their names. And I'm so serious. Think about that. If the kids can't write or read, how can they read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights? All those things are in cursive, the original, not the fake. We talking about original script. But you so happy your kid graduated. You let your kids graduate from this institution. You happy. Oh, my baby finna do something. But he out here can't even write. He can't even write his own name in an application. And that's another thing. A lot of these kids don't even know how to physically write an application out. They online doing the stuff. So they really ain't getting no jobs. I know it's online, but you still can go in there. It's better to go in there and rap with them people like that. Like, here you go. Here go my physical thing. And I'm going to go and put it on the computer too, because that's how much I want this job. That's showing initiative. But they don't teach the kids initiative today. They just teach them, everybody get a trophy, baby. You get a trophy too. We can't leave nobody behind. Instead of telling that kid, work hard and come back next year so you can do it right. Oh, no. Oh, no. How y'all doing out there, man? What would y'all want to be, man? How y'all doing? Welcome. What y'all wanted to be when y'all, you know, what would you want to do over again, or try to correct if you can go back? You know what I'm saying? a boyfriend, a hairstyle, maybe taking a class of, of Zumba. I don't never want to do that Zumba stuff again. That Zumba stuff had me doing too much. Then I went and took that Herbalife that they had in there. They got me in there to buy the Herbalife. The Herbalife stuff is a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. And they got me in there on the Zuma. I'm just animated, y'all. Like I said, if y'all ever want one of these pictures like this, you come to see me, and I'll tell you the story. I'll give you the significant story behind this picture. But it's a really, really powerful picture. If y'all look at it and see it, man, that's something nice right there. But if you knew who these people were, you know what I'm saying, you'll know the reason why I did it like that. And like I said, I got t-shirts like that. And, you'll never find a LA cap, you know what I'm saying, with this, spelling out, But yeah, give me some, throw something at me, y'all. It's 2 people, 3 people on here. I know y'all come in and see my ugly face. I know you see my ugly face. I'm trying to be good, man. I don't want to get flagged or nothing, you know what I mean? So I just keep on talking. Welcome in. How y'all doing? I don't want to get flagged. They've been flagged like 2 or 3 of my things already, man. And I ain't even did nothing. I just hit them with some facts. You know how you just, man, boy, you can change somebody's world, boy. Look, it don't matter if they in China or right over here down in a Clover City at the TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Down here at Clover City at the TikTok, it's right there. I know where y'all at. I know where. So it don't matter if it's a person sitting here and listen to me and they all in their emotions. They all in their emotion, they emotionally, and they hear the truth that the devil rebuke you, the Lord. Jesus is real. God gonna hear you. You better be quiet. That stuff, it be killing me, man. That's why I love myself. I live so free. You know what I'm saying? That I don't allow, crazy folklores and, allegories and fables and fairy tales, guide my life. Like, I got to look behind my back. Oh, man, I said Jesus was a homosexual. And I proved it in their own Bible, man. I better watch out because God going to get me. Well, if God allowed it to be in that book, then he meant for me to read it. He meant for me to read that. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. If God let somebody write in the book that Jesus was crucified for having a boyfriend, wasn't that God's word still? And y'all don't want to believe God's word? Because you can go to it, John 19:25 through 27. And Peter verifies on John 21:20. All through the book, Judas kissed him to prove that that's what he was doing. That's how he got portrayed. Man, it's a cold game out here, player. It's a cold game out here, player. We out here, man, wasting our time thinking about somebody else's fairy tale, and we behind. We behind. That's why somebody could tell you where the black people were in the protesting. Why y'all ain't out here? Because they already know. Y'all goofies. Y'all jump on anything that's not gonna, be productive. That protesting here in California was the worst thing ever to happen. Because it didn't prove nothing. Didn't prove nothing. You made it worse. Now people can't even go to work and stuff. Before the protesting, them acting silly like that, man, people was going to work, making money. Now you drive up a certain place like, damn, man, they got chains on the... Man, I couldn't even get on some real shit, I couldn't even get my damn tire fixed. See, I live in a Latino neighborhood. I've been living here for 15 years and 16 years. And I was driving around to my local people who I fuck with, give my money to, you know what I'm saying? And both of them was locked up, had chains on it, because they afraid that ICE gonna come and take somebody. All because of that damn protest shit. See, if y'all little punk ass would have stayed home, because them the motherfuckers that's legal. But now, since Trump changed that shit, Trump said, no, you ain't legal. So now, all the motherfuckers that was out there throwing shit, waving that flag and shit, oh, they got cameras, they got pictures. So they gonna come knock on your door. Yeah, you and your family, take y'all ass on. Get the fuck out. Since you didn't want, you don't like it here. Get the fuck out. That's how you say, get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Because you down there destroying the shit, and people that's working every day, people living regular life, they didn't ask for that. They didn't ask for that. Let the shit go what they do, and they file their lawsuits and shit like that. But y'all, they made it worse. So now people out here scared as hell. You know what I'm saying? Because now y'all done made it to the point where they gonna have to do incognito stuff, just jump out of cars and shit. At least they was going to certain buildings and stuff like that, and they had a certain procedure to go and do certain things. You know what I'm saying? But now it's free for all. They taking people off the corners. You had the damn tamale trunk. They got people got tamales in the trunk of the car, right? You come to get the people to sell the tamales out of the trunks. That not only just the fresca, man, you know what I'm saying? Not only the fruit, man, and the taco stands and the hot dogs and nothing like, you know what I mean? They come to get everybody because some goofy group of people want to go down there and do some good. And they all look like Mo from the Three Stooges. All these new generation of Latino people that's not the real essays, they got haircuts like Mo from Three Stooges. It's cut like a bow. They got that bow bob cut like that. And like, woo, 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 woo. Hey, Mo. You know what I mean? Like, really, you could tell they goofy, man. They stooges. That's what I'm going to call them. Yeah, they ain't not clowns no more. You know how back in the day, the cholos and shit, they had the clown faces and shit, Joker face and shit. Oh, no, these are stooges. Look at the stooges, Holmes. That's Mo, Larry, Curly, Shemp, and Joe. Simone, I can see that. That's it. Charlie Holmes. But no, seriously, man, it's crazy, man. They mess things up around here in LA, man. Going to do that goofy stuff, man. And then this the cold thing, right? They were only doing it in 4 or 5 blocks. That wasn't all over LA. People got that on TV like it's going down in LA. They burning LA down. Nigga, that was 4 blocks downtown. 4 blocks downtown. That's not burning LA down. It wasn't going down like that. What happened, ICE will pop up in certain places, then people will try to come out and protest right then and there. They come out their house trying to make sure they don't take their neighbors or something like that. But it wasn't no whole thing going down. These cats are soft. I told you they look like the Three Stooges with their haircuts and stuff. Then they sit up there breaking up the grounds to throw rocks at somebody. My thing is this, right? I look at it like this. If me and my boys doing anything, how far or how long is it going to take us to get to our stuff? If somebody do something, pull something out, how far we got to go to get our stuff? And you mean to tell me a majority of these people from East Los? You from East Los? You from all over different places that you come around to come down here to do something goofy and throw rocks at people that got real things? Quit playing, man. Don't do that. You getting a lot of people in trouble, man. And the real essays knew that. The real essays wasn't with that, bro. See, they make y'all believe that every Latino here is on that. Nah, bro. They was like, nah, bro, I ain't going against the military. Then you got some city vice president or something going, talking about, well, fluorescent 13s. Where the 18th streets? This is mi barrio. Sound like that lady on Colors. Pac-Man, I'm a home girl. This is mi barrio. I'm a home girl, Pac-Man. Look at me, Pac-Man. Look at me. I'm a chola. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, my biggest regret was not being a nerd faster. You know what I mean? If I could have went back, if I can go back right now, you know, man, I swear to God, boy, I'm gonna be stuck to those books. Now, put you in mind though, I don't regret none of the experience that I went through in my life to be the person who I am. But if I could have learned that what being a nerd really meant back then, I'd have jumped on that and stayed with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was already in me. It was a whole genius thing, and I just thought, you know, because I grew up, and I can't say I grew up in poverty. I didn't grow up in poverty. I was just like I said, I was like Cain mixed with Doughboy mixed with a Trey. You know what I'm saying? So I got all that good foundation all wrapped up in one of not having the stuff that I need to have and exposed to the things that I shouldn't have been exposed to. You get what I'm saying? So, and I was a city dude, you know what I'm saying? St. Louis City, and I had gold teeth very young, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we used to do, you know what I'm saying? That's our culture. That's St. Louis culture, you know what I'm saying? That's an indigenous culture, right? Not a Native American. Native Americans or Asians. We talking about indigenous people, and here in these lands that we know traditionally, you know. So anyway, that's why when you go down and see those really, really, because you know it's a blue black and it's like a black red. You know how you get that red? See, I got a red tone to me, right? Even my hair is like a sandy red. You know what I mean? So when you have that black red, you see, and it's that red tone, man. That's the ones that you know. Yeah, they yeah. Nice, pretty long hair too. That not that nappy stuff. You know what I mean? Nice, pretty curly long hair. You know, not no beanie beans. I be, man, you know, and that's the funny thing too, boy. To get my hair to even lock up, it took a very long time. But truthfully, you know, people were so mad at me. They was like, man, why you do your hair like that? You know you got some good hair. Don't do your hair. Don't like. And put your mind, I ain't had a haircut since 2000. 25 years I've been having hair on my head like this. 25 years, and my people be like, oh man, your hair is nice. You see people now, your hair is beautiful. How long you been growing your hair? This, but the ones before, when they seen my hair and they knew my hair from the natural, they was like, man, don't do that to your hair, man. You gonna mess your hair up, you know. And I was like, it's just hair. It's still gonna be my hair. You know what I'm saying? And in St. Louis, we say her. It's my hair, nigga. That's my hair. I like her over here, over there. It's so hot. People like, why people in St. Louis talk like that? Because of the humidity. The humidity make it feel like somebody got a thumb in their throat, and somebody in front of you acting silly, and you get an attitude because it's hard to breathe. So you say her. Her, nigga, call my her. See, when you come to California, you can say hair, right? Because you got air. When you in the Midwest, and the heat index is 120, it's around about 110. Come on now. You not finna say here. It's too long. Sorry. Her. Her, take this. But yeah, man. I've just came on here to, man, play with y'all, man. I'm glad I ain't getting no beans, and hit that tap button. You know, they say tap the button or something. I was supposed to get some tap buttons. People supposed to be doing this. I only got 50 of them. I don't know if I'm trying to get to a goal or not. But when I see people, I do this. I see my homeboys and homegirls or whatever, somebody on there that I've been messing with. The whole time I've known that. I'm just doing it for no reason. Whatever reason they supposed to be doing it, getting it, whatever, I don't know. I'm not out here trying to get rich off of YouTube or anything. I'm just trying to get my point out, let people see my art, and basically leave a paper trail of my legacy in case one of these days I don't exist anymore. It is a footprint somewhere that I'm talking. It's somewhere that I'm being able to teach and give my thought. And maybe that'll help a generation. Maybe that'll wake up a generation and make them do better. unlearn the stupidity and re-educate. Because that's what we have to do. We have to unlearn all this stuff that they taught us, which don't mean nothing in the world. You go to school for 13 years or plus, and none of that stuff really applies to life. You could have did 8 years of that, you know what I'm saying? 7, 8 years of that and been cool, because that's what they used to do. Higher learning was high school, right? The highest learning that you can go to was the 8th grade. They recently added all these other classes and stuff on. Benjamin Franklin and all of them, they only had 3rd grade educations. And they was the head of the state. You know what I'm saying? They own dollar bills and stuff. Check that out. Here goes somebody with a 3rd grade education. You know what I'm saying? They tell you he discovered light with a kite and a key, which doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because the stream of the string that's not a conductor. It don't transfer the energy. So I don't know what he's talking about. It would have burnt up anyway. But anyhow, that story, that fairy tale, that phallus, that allegory, this man had 3rd grade education and he's up on money. So what makes you have to go through 8 years of college, 13 years of regular school, and you still don't never ever be on the dollar? Think about that. How they got us. Here goes somebody that never went to the 4th grade. And this man is a Benjamin Franklin. He is one of the top dollars of all. And he only had a 3rd grade education. Help me to make that make sense. I'm just saying. Can I get a like for that? Can a couple of people like you? How much college you done went through? How much school you went through, and you ain't gonna never be on the dollar. They ain't gonna never put you on the dollar. Never, ever, ever. They ain't gonna put Harriet Tubman on the dollar, and they definitely ain't gonna put you. And everybody had a high school diploma more than a 3rd grade education. Everybody got it better than a 3rd grade education. And you mean to tell me Benjamin Franklin is on $100 and I'll never be on the dollar? I done made famous things. I done been all over the world. And here goes somebody just... Y'all done went to 30 years of school. Got 18 degrees. Right? You got 18 licensing degrees to go do all these wonderful things, and you will never be on the dollar. I'm just saying, think about that. So you working hard for the wrong stuff. You going work hard for somebody that passed a 3rd grade education. A second couldn't pass a 3rd grade education. Think about this. You work hard for your money. And the money that you get, that $100 that you see, is somebody with a lesser grade. It's got a lesser education than you, and you going out and get this. And I want you to learn from this. I'm not laughing at you. I want you to learn from this. Please learn from this. And tell your kids the same thing. Don't be chasing the money. Just be happy. Because when you get to Hollywood, because I'm in Hollywood. I didn't did things in Hollywood, had my kids in Hollywood, all these little crazy little things. Oh man, it's cool. But happiness is knowing your accomplishments, not how much money you can make. You still gotta live your life when the camera's cut off. So don't be chasing somebody with a 3rd grade education. And once it's torn up, or somebody do this with it, it's no longer the value. Who gonna want it now? Here, take this $100 bill. Yeah, take it. Here, you can have the $100, and you won't take that $100 bills because it's not worth it, is it? I done did all this and got all that stuff on it and give it to you like this. You ain't gonna take that $100 bill. And like I said, somebody got a 3rd. So don't be chasing the money. Chase your happiness. What's going to make you happy? That's cool. And if you can make the money to provide a good life to make that happiness happen, that's cool. But money ain't gonna never make you happy. That's what they learn and find out. And they find out the hard way. And by the time they find out, they at a Diddy party, tied up, waking up, finding out. Why am I hurting down there? I didn't have no baby oil on. I smell like baby oil. Where that baby oil smell coming from? I got the baby oil up. Who? What are the regrets? Welcome in. How y'all doing? Welcome in. How do y'all do today, this evening, this night? Buenos tardes. You know, what's up? Talk to me, chat. Talk to me. Talk to me. Nobody want to talk. Y'all scared? Y'all scared of me? Y'all ain't got to be scared. I'm a nerd. Hey, how you doing, baby? I see somebody. I know. How you doing, baby? I see you. But yeah, man, one of my regrets was just if I could be a nerd just a little bit more faster in my life. I always tell people, I said, man, if I had 2 more butt whoopings from my mama, I think I'd have been a nerd. I just needed 2 more, because she was getting us good. You know what I'm saying? My mama had techniques. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by my cousin, so, you know, she was older too. So, you know, she had those techniques. She'll get you while you're sleeping. She used everything she could find around her. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, she was old in the age. We young. We started getting spunky and, you know, able to jump out of second floor windows and stuff like that. So my mama didn't play. You know, you mess with her, she'll go in there and boil some water on you real quick because she knows she can't run and catch you. But that hot water, yep, she'll get you. You know, and keep on messing with it, as she would say. She be in there boiling that hot water. You in trouble, player. You in trouble. You don't even know it because that pot ain't even, you know, making no sound. You know, or she wait till you go to sleep, you know, wake you up. Didn't I tell you wash them dishes? Yeah. Or she'll wait at the door, right? Yeah, you have sometimes that she'll try to make us go out there and get them switches, but she done already picked hers. She already picked her. Come on in here. No, come on in here. You ain't wasting no time today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she done got around about 20 or 15 switches. She done already cleaned up laying on the bed. And then don't let one of my cousins, my older cousin, being over there. Yeah, that's her nephews. So she tell him, hey, hold him. Hold his ass down. And now he got to put you in one of those WWF wrestling moves, you know what I'm saying? Like Harley Racing them, you know what I'm saying? The Animal in them, you know what I'm saying? The Road Warrior, Animal and Hulk. They putting you in that, man, all back. All back. If you know what I'm talking about, all back. Back and butt. No legs, no head, no arms. Whew, that's the worst way to get it. Yeah, so like I said, 2 more of them butt whoopings like that, boy, I'd have been a nerd quick. I was almost there though. But somehow, man, I guess she caught arthritis and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she kind of realized that the community was changing. You know what I'm saying? She seen it. She lived it, you know. She seen it when it started changing. And she had to realize, like, whoa, hold up now. I got to get my boys away from around this, you know. And she moved us out into the suburban areas, and it was all right, but it wasn't because you had a bunch of pretenders out in the suburbans. Black people that trying to act like city people, right? You had black people trying to act like they city. Now, they might came from the city, but some of them family came from the city and they want to act like that. So now you got people trying to act like Doughboy, calling themselves Doughboy, Ice Cube and stuff like that. That's what they call DOC. Y'all ain't got no original name. You got to take somebody else's name off a movie. You know what I'm saying? That's how I should have known back then. Was like, hold up, that's really fake. That's some of the fakest things ever. If you can't come up with your own hood name, and you using somebody's hood name to intimidate somebody from a movie, yeah, you ain't gangster. You ain't gang. You really is a valley person. You is a suburban person. You is one of those commonly bred kids. Mama got Microsoft jobs and working at McDonnell Douglas and Bowen and stuff like that, and you want to be out here in the county municipality and acting like a fool. When you got it good, you got all the Nintendo cartridges and stuff. You got all the polo and stuff like that. Man, I couldn't even get Converses because my mama said those shoes was for gangsters. Now, put your mind, I'm talking about I was born in 1975. And you mean to tell me in the 80s I can't get a pair of Converses because they was gangster? Yeah, they was gangster back then and wearing one, having some stuff like that. One of these, let me tell you, one of these, boy, I prayed to have one of these. I prayed to have one of these right back in the day. That's why I got it now. I prayed to have a golf cap. You know this was a gangster hat? You better not have a, ooh, there go my other one. My other gangster hat. So, to say this, I just wish I could have been more of a nerd. I was almost there. My mama, she was getting us to the point. But 2 more butt whoopings, woo, we ought to have been a nerd. Sure would have. How you doing? Welcome in. But growing up in the 80s, man, and seeing all that stuff, how things started changing, man, what they was doing to us. See, this is something that you have to realize, too. I'm going to say this, I'm going to always say it. We the first generation that supposed to have received civil rights. 1968 was the right of, when they actually finalized it, right? So the babies in the 70s was supposed to get their civil rights. By the time 1980 come, we have a dude named Ronald Reagan coming in with Reaganomics. So they cutting all the programs, right? And now they putting all this Contra, Oliver North, George Bush Sr., and Ronald Reagan, they putting this into our communities, right? They got this stuff coming into our community we don't know nothing about because this was something that white people do. White people did the white girl. We didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So about time we get to see what's going on, we got people hooked. Right? They hooked on this stuff. And we were like, man, why are people hooked on this stuff? They didn't know what was going to happen to it. They didn't know what was the reaction to that. It was a phenomenon. See, I like to say I live BCE, before the crack era. You know what I'm saying? Before crack era. I lived before, so I knew life before that. And I knew life after that. See, a lot of these kids today don't know life before crack. They grandmamas and all that was crack addicts. They probably been crack babies. Now the crack babies having babies that need, some type of, what do you call that? Down syndrome and all that other stuff. All this, it wasn't like that before that. These kids wasn't having, wasn't no babies out here with, what you call that stuff? Autism. You know what I mean? Wasn't no autism going around like that, man. Now, shit, every 10 babies is an autism. Every 10 babies come out, it's autistic. You got one regular one. You know what I'm saying? That's the 11th one. So it wasn't happening like that. I remember life before this. And next thing you know, they do this. We had to fend for ourselves. We were kids, teenagers. We had to fend for ourselves. We didn't know because our elders was lost on something that the government put into our community. We didn't go get that. We didn't grow that. They put that right there in our community and then try to blame us, call us super predators. And then when we stood up knowing after what they did to us, they knew we were mad. They knew we were mad. 1995, they knew it because Farrakhan called everybody. It was like, man, we need a 1 million man march. And 2 million brothers stood up. 2 million stood up and we still had some at home. They was like, how did they get past us? Oh, because we pushed them out in the 60s. Yeah, they wasn't writing down. They couldn't be in the households to be written down for the censors because the welfare would be cut off. So they was in hiding. And they were shocked to see 2 million black brothers on the footsteps of the White House. And they got scared and tried to mass incarcerate us. They came after us. Hillary Clinton called us super predators, and they came up with these mass incarceration, started building prisons and everything for us. The same thing they was doing to the Latinos right now is what they did to us in the 80s and the 90s. So it's a rerun for us. The real OGs, the real people that's still around, we seen it. We called them jump out boys. But they weren't none but federal agents. Alive restricts for some. See, why every time I tell the truth, they get mad, bruh. See, I ain't did nothing but tell the truth. Y'all hate TikTok. This is why, you know what? Hey, man, for real, all jokes aside, let's get rid of TikTok. Let's get rid of it because we see the people that's behind it. You see what I'm saying? We see the people behind it, and this is why they said this needs to be American made. This is why this should be American made because of this right here, just what they did to me. So you give me 2 restrictions. Come on, bro. Like, and I ain't said nothing wrong. I ain't talked bad about nobody or nothing. That's crazy. Because we just sitting here telling the truth, talking. Somebody liking the button and pushing the button. Yeah, bro, you right for that one. Wow, really? This is why we should have our own entity, because somebody can come watch this. They back there looking at the TV, watching me in my face while I'm having fun with everybody else. And then you going to put some type of restriction on it because you and your emotional feelings. Come on, bro. For real? Because I'm telling you exactly what happened in the 80s. With that being said, I love y'all. Whoever's left on here, man, I'm out of here. I hate fake ass people, man. And TikTok is a fake ass company. And I'm learning that more and more. Boycott TikTok. Boycott TikTok. Boycott TikTok.